But you know what I did have to watch?
Tell me.
Cam responding to Jim Jones.
Oof.
Oh my God, I almost showed up here with popcorn like Mace.
Oof. First of all, Mace is a clown.
I love their dynamic.
Well, yeah.
I absolutely love their dynamic. Besides the fact that they're killing it business-wise,
Yeah.
besides the fact that they have legends coming up on their show like Michael Irving, who came on right after the Jim Jones stuff was done. Man, what a great dynamic those two have. Besides all of those things.
They definitely have chemistry. You can tell that they've been friends for a long time.
Yeah, it's just like you kicking it with one of your best friends in your best dress suits on camera.
And we all giggled along with them.
Oh my God, I was
As
crying
Mace-
laughing.
As Mace ate popcorn.
Because Cameron kept trying to get him to talk and he just giggling, eating popcorn. So, for those who don't know, let's give them some context. 50 Cent was on Mace and Cam's show. They discussed a couple of things, and I'm summarizing, by the way, not quoting people. If you want the quotes, go look it up. They didn't pay us. This is not an ad. We're just here to talk about it. But 50 was up there, and 50 Cent was asked about when Cam specifically asked 50 about when they were beefing, and he was like, basically asking him, like, how'd you get Jim to go on perform on your tour? And he said basically that Jim Jones had just dropped Ballin', and he knew, like, all right, he's trying to push this song. Maybe I could throw him an offer and get him to perform. And he did. And it made it look like there was division amongst Dipset and all of that stuff. And so they had a good laugh and was like, oh, you know, basically that Jim Jones fell for the trick. All right, cool. But Jim Jones didn't like that. And so he was on Justin LeBoy's podcast or show, whatever, and he was interviewed. And he addressed it. And he said some things about Mace and about Cam and their history and the Dipset and a lot of things. You could go look it up. And so lots of people were waiting for Cam to respond, and he knew that. And so he came and responded and said how they met and what was done and lots of things. So I started the last topic. You start this one. Go for it.
So, I think the most... Cameron said a lot of things.
Yep.
I think the most shocking for me, the most shocking thing, and probably the thing that stood out to me the most, which may not resonate with everyone. Cameron said, "You're from the Bronx. You're not from Harlem."
Oh my God. Yo, them Harlem dudes, they don't play about Harlem.
No,
They don't.
no.
Like today, any quote unquote transplant can claim Brooklyn, and a lot of times we just be like, all right, man, whatever. We know you just got here. We know your weather rate has quadrupled. You're not really from Brooklyn, and we just let it go. But them Harlem folks, they don't play about that Harlem shit. Not at all. Say you from the Bronx.
He said that he wasn't even from here. I was like,
Say your grandmother lived on the block.
"You need to come over."
He said, and you a visit.
This is so niche. Like, this is only something that
Love it.
people from New York will
I
hear.
loved it.
People truly from New York, like
Loved
you said,
it.
not transplants, but people who are
If you from Michigan
born and raised,
and you came to New York, we ain't talking about you.
and Long Island doesn't count.
And Long Island does not count.
Simply doesn't.
Sorry,
But
Suffolk County, Essex County. Sorry.
doesn't count.
Oh, it's not Essex. Was it Norfolk? Whatever. Y'all know.
No. Y'all the ones that come after y'all become adults. It's not the same. So that got me. I was like, oh,
That's where he started.
that's where, yeah. I was locked in at that point. I mean, you know, and he basically addresses that Jim Jones, he's just tired of the narrative that Jim Jones put him on, put them on, whatever, and he wanted to set the record straight
On a lot
uh,
of things.
on a lot of things. He dropped a lot of names and some stories. He said he wasn't going to tell all the stories, but he told some. He also basically said that, you know, or rather implied that Jim is not lifting people up. In fact, Jim is getting people hemmed up.
Yes, he did mention that.
Um, what was the comment that he made? That got me too when he said, "You beef with niggas and then you kiss them on the mouth."
I don't remember that quote.
I'm really
Don't
confused.
I don't remember that. But he
He
did say
said that
that Jim
it was a
Jones,
metaphor.
yeah, he was saying Jim Jones, anybody who has punched Jim Jones in the mouth is what he said. Anybody who has punched Jim Jones in the mouth, Jim Jones gets cool with afterwards.
Right, but he specifically said, I heard him say it. He specifically said right before that, before he said that, he said that Jim would beef. Maybe he didn't use the word beef, but he said Jim would beef, but then kiss niggas on the mouth. That's exactly the verbiage he used.
Got you. I must have missed that.
Because I was like, huh? And I thought he meant it literally. And then as he continued to talk, I realized he was using it metaphorically and saying what you. Then he said what you said. And then I was like, oh, okay, he just needs that. Like, he goes from having beef with people
You thought
being
that's where the
cool
pink came from.
or yeah, his ass or whatever. I was just like, kiss him on the mouth.
All
I
right.
said, is he trying to call yourself gay?
No.
But that's not what he was trying to do. I just, when you hear it, you're like, why are you saying that? You know? I mean, not that there would be anything wrong with it. It's just, it would just be egregious for Cameron to say that. We already talked about how Patty should have been out. What did you think?
I think it's sad that Dipset is over, but it seems that that is necessary at this point. I can totally understand Cam's side of things. And yeah, he said, we addressed this all 10 years ago. I'm not going to keep doing this with you every 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And I feel him on that. It should be water under the bridge if it was already addressed. But, you know, I really want to also say it gets tricky in this era where everything is on camera.
Yeah.
Because they pulled about 7 or 8 different clips of Jim Jones saying Mace taught him how to rap. And man, that made Jim Jones look real bad after saying something different. And also, I really enjoyed that for Cameron. Cameron knows the people who watch his show may not necessarily be fans of him as a rapper. And so he gave them a lesson. And I love that they pulled it up even though he was saying, go Google XYZ. And they made sort of input, at least a little bit of each thing in the show.
I thought that was great.
I thought that was amazing post-production. The show dropped early in the morning on a Monday. And they made sure to get to it.
So did Mad Hatter.
Oh, yeah. I was going to wear my Mad Hatter hat and forgot. Maybe tomorrow I'll come on here with the Mad Hatter hat on. Yes, Mad Hatter dropped at midnight last night, for those who don't know.
Sure did.
Yeah. But I thought it was really good the way that they did it, schooling people to who you are, when you started, and tying everything together that way was really good. I thought this was a phenomenal job of post edits. I thought it was great that it dropped early in the morning, bright and early, because they knew people were waiting. And you know, he spilled some tea, but I feel like he could have spilled more. You know, he gave him a little bow bow. I have mixed feelings on him saying I'm never going to talk about this again. I'm curious if Jim Jones is going to now do a battle rap diss record. I hope not. But if he does, it could get interesting because today, Jim Jones might be the better rapper of the two. I say might.
Okay.
But yeah.